Andrew Henderson, Nomad Capitalist, nomadcapitalist.com. Just hanging out with a colleague of mine and doing some research and development on some new passport stuff when we came across an article on CoinDesk talking about Peter Thiel and how he said that Bitcoin is the new gold, how it's a digital version of gold. And while he said he thinks there's certainly a decent chance that it becomes worthless in the future, he thinks it's a great store of value. I'm paraphrasing him here. You can check out the article on CoinDesk. But he said it's a store of value. It's like having gold in a vault that just sits there. And so as the offshore guy, I wanted to bring to your attention one key difference between Bitcoin and between gold. And before I get into that, I should tell you two things. Number one, whenever I do a crypto video, I try and specify I'm not a crypto anarchist. I talk about our 5 magic words: go where you're treated best. I believe in creating the best set of rules for yourself to be able to keep more of your own money and build your freedom. I've done that for myself in my own life, but I really believe in following the rules. And so if there's rules that you don't like, figure out a way to create a different situation for yourself within the legal framework. Number two is I'm not a tax advisor. I'm going to be talking about some things here that are tax related. When I help people, I bring in my network of tax advisors and we quarterback the entire process. But obviously, as a generic advice, we're not giving tax advice here. Now, the difference between Bitcoin and gold. Gold is one of those two assets that if you're a US citizen, you can store it overseas, outside of the banking system, and it is non-reportable. The other one is real estate. Real estate held in your own name. Obviously, if you rent out that real estate, or if you somehow find a way to rent out your gold and you earn an income from that, then the income is reportable. But for US citizens, the IRS does not consider foreign-owned real estate or foreign real estate or gold privately vaulted outside of the banking system as an asset to be reported on your FBAR. Now, obviously, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, there's a lot of nebulous aspects about where is the Bitcoin, where is it stored. Obviously, if you have it stored on some kind of exchange that's based somewhere else, that can bring up tax questions as to should that be reported on an FBAR. There's a whole slew of questions that are becoming clarified as time goes on as to how and when and where to report any Bitcoin. Now, I understand there are folks who are going to say the whole point of Bitcoin is not to report it. The whole point of Bitcoin is to store it on a wallet, put it on a thumb drive, keep it in your desk, don't tell anybody. My perspective, obviously, is trying to tell people if you want to be able to use that money in the future, if you want to be able to go out and buy some amazing villa or make big purchases or put it back into the fiat currency realm in the future to make investments, to live your life, that may not be the best approach. As I said, I like to do things the legal way so that I never get a knock on the door years from now saying, you owe us a lot of money or you're coming with us. So the big difference for me with Bitcoin is what's the reportability if you're a US citizen? What's the capital gains treatment? And some of that was clarified this year with Trump tax reform. How, if you're going to be trading Bitcoin or into other cryptos, how does that work? If you're going to be buying it and selling it as a capital gains event, such as holding it, how does that work? And so for me, obviously gold has certain capital gains implications as well for US citizens and for people who are tax resident in their own country. But to me, speaking particularly to US citizens, Bitcoin, interestingly enough, if you're doing it properly, offers, in my mind, a bit less privacy than holding gold and just storing it in a vault somewhere overseas. Now, does that mean that it's easily able to be confiscated? I won't comment on that. But what I am saying is that if we're following the laws, and the laws in the US and other countries are becoming more and more concrete on how cryptos are treated, especially in the US. I've done numerous videos on this. The US is not going to be treating crypto that well in the future. And so I've talked about how if you want to be a crypto investor, if you want to be a crypto holder, if you want to, if you plan on making money from those cryptos in the future and accessing that money, the US may not be the best place for you to live or even be a citizen. And that's not advice that I give lightly, but it's based on the understanding that the United States is not being as friendly to cryptocurrency like Bitcoin as they have been to gold. A lot of people I know, including some pretty smart tax advisors and lawyers, don't really understand entirely why people can just store their gold overseas, and that's not reportable. So crypto is very interesting in that regard. If you want to learn more about cryptocurrency from an offshore perspective, where we have other videos here, definitely subscribe to our channel. We're going to be coming out with more. And we also talk about other things that I think crypto investors should be aware of, such as why every cryptocurrency investor needs a second passport, places you can go and live. We're going to be putting out a lot more content on this, so definitely subscribe. And if you already have a situation you need some help with, you can definitely go and check out our more advanced strategies at nomadcapitalist.com.